press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello students, welcome back to your social science class. Today we are going to continue the chapter community and we'll wind it up today. We had left with the characteristics of rural community. We'll finish off that and then move on to the next topic, that is urban community. So what did we discuss actually in the rural community? Rural is what I told you is villages. Urban is what is cities. We discussed about the different names that have been given to village in the rural areas and how different kinds of villages are there. We drew pictures about it, and then so I hope you have drawn it already in your books and I have kept it ready before we begin today's class. If you have not done it, please do before we wind up the lesson or as soon as we finished it, because don't keep it accumulating for the future. Now what did we begin with? The characteristics is it is small in size. We did have analysis saying that 68% of the Indian population lives in villages, and in different kind of villages that we studied in types of villages. Today we'll move on and understand the third, fourth and the fifth point. Before that, agriculture and agriculture related economy, that is most of the people in the rural areas are involving themselves in agriculture and in other forms of getting or making economy better is through animal husbandry, okay, dairying. So they are rearing animals either for meat or either for any other farming or agricultural purposes. Next is community life. Now that's what the chapter titles us and tells us what is a community. We have discussed what's a community, where people live together, where people stay together and who are sharing common interest, who are loving and caring for each other. Basically common interest and common goal is a community. In the villages, people may be belonging to different religions, different castes, different color, whatever. They don't discriminate people there because they live as one family, one community, one being as a whole. They don't separate themselves saying that you belong to this family, you belong to this family, you're a white, you're a black, nothing like that. They don't discriminate based on caste, religion, culture, color, nothing. Nothing of that sort is being discriminated. Just go to a village and see how people live. It's different from the people way people live in the cities. Cities is absolutely different and a sophisticated life where one family doesn't bother about the next door neighbor. So that's a city life. Villages are not like that. Everybody knows each other's joys and sorrows. They share in each other's celebrations. They are in happiness and sadness together. Everything happens together. So what's here in a community? They have a lot of belief, a lot of faith in what? In nature. Nature and natural related objects that are there. They believe that nature is to be worshipped, nature is to be kept together, nature is something that gives us life and nature is something that nurtures us. So we have to also in return take care of nature. The worship for rain that they do, they celebrate festivals of local deities. So they have local gods there, they do celebrate as a community together. Everybody does celebrate. Maybe there is a difficulty that has come, people all come together and pray for it, share in each other's joys and sorrows, and that's how it goes. They believe one for all and all for one. So one community for all and all of them for one community. That's their tagline or a title or some kind of a statement that bonds them, that unites them. One for all for one. One community for all of them for one community. Here competition, okay, cheating, superciliousness, all this is not there. Being very artificial, being very selfish, jealous of somebody else, nothing of that sort is found here. But in turn, what is found on the other hand, positive side? Love, care, sharing, okay, giving and taking is what they accept. Basically, being there for the others that is what they believe in, okay, and they have no kind of harming anybody, or they don't exploit people in any way. Rather, they protect each one of them who is being there with them, who is helping them in their needs. So you help and I help you in return. That's their policy. Next is democratic ideals. Democratic ideals are these, they have their own form of governance, the panchayat system that is there. The sarpanch, along with 5 other officials there, takes decisions, anything regarding the village, isn't it? Everything goes on around, in and around for them peacefully. So they have their own ways of dealing with it. Now, everything that we have learned there from the villages. Now, these kind of freedom, these kind of democratic values is what is upheld in the villages, because every member is given that kind of a participation. Every member is termed to be important. Every member is respected. Everybody has an opportunity to do and govern them, to take leadership, to take roles, to make use of those roles and do betterment for the society. Now, Gram Panchayats is, that's what I told you, Gram Panchayats happen, and then people come together to discuss somebody's matter and to give them proper or suggestible solutions that are there. Lack of civic infrastructure, that is maybe with terms of health, in terms of education, in terms of judiciary, they are lacking in those terms, like they will have to travel to many places away because they don't have all those facilities, or they lack them in a way. They may have to travel for a very long time or a long period before they get all these facilities. Even education, for that matter, has been very scarce there, but people are coming into terms that understanding education is important, and things are changing slowly. Things are getting better, not worse as it was then. Things are making way. Everything is making way in its own pace, and that's how improvement has happened. All right, so that was rural community. Now we move on to urban community. Okay. Towns and cities are not something that have been invented very recently. It was also there for a very long time, and how villages have taken a prominent place, the urban areas also have taken a prominent place in the lives of people. Many things that have been improving or improved have been done in the cities, and then it has given a way for the people in the towns and the villages to come and make use of the opportunity in the cities. Now here, everything that has happened, maybe in the sector of manufacturing, production, anything that has taken transformation, from time to time it has made everything in the urban communities better. Lives of people better. Lifestyle in the urban community is different from what is it in the rural community. Maybe in the urban areas people are working people, working men and women, not in a way where they have housewives or people are, especially women are at home. No, in the cities most of them it's husband and wife, or both men and women in the house are working, equally working individuals and equally competitive individuals that are there. Now, these urban centers started to grow after the civilization that happened in Harappa and Mohenjo-daro, and that's how urban places have had a unique place in the history. This kind of a civilization led us into making a different form of urban areas or urban centers. They have not only changed the kind of civilization we live in, but also the lifestyle of people, the food habits of people, the clothing of people, everything. Lifestyle has totally changed after this kind of a civilization that happened. Now, Industrial Revolution also changed the fate of the urban areas because of a lot of growth of industries. People started working more and things got produced more in number, so that everything was brought out in time, given to people in time, and everything that happened was very important to the people in the urban areas. Industries made way for a lot of opportunities after the Industrial Revolution. Now, industrialization and urbanization, you can link them. Industries are the ones that grew in the process of industrialization, which gave rise to urbanization. Cities grew as a result of the industries also growing, because people had to stay, people had to go to work, their lifestyle changed, and hence urbanization also grew. Now, how did they grow? People who were there in the villages, that's what I told you. They had to work, so migration took place to the urban areas. And then large numbers, people came to settle in their towns and in their cities. So, lot of production that happened was through the agricultural sector, and non-agricultural activities also started to grow. Here, commerce and trade took a very prominent place in the society. That was excess production that was being done, and commerce and trade took a name in itself. That's how we differentiate between rural and urban communities. Now, urban cities or urban areas have become places where people live in the modern society. Now, this urban life has been considered to be very complex or very difficult, because see, if you go to a city, if you visit a family where if there is a husband, wife and two children, husband and wife are working, children are going to school, if you see their life and their lifestyle is comparatively very different from what's there in the villages. Villages, they do it on time. Here there is no time for them. Whatever and whenever they can do, they do, and then they manage their day. So it's in a way difficult, because less of family time, less of outings, less of gatherings, because your day-to-day routine only takes you time and consumes a lot of your time on the whole day. So administration also took its way. People started to form and govern, or governments that had a particular place in the city. It also became the part of that urban center. Now, more than 5,000 people and a density of 1,000 people per square kilometer, where 75% of the population is engaged in non-agricultural production, then it is an urban center. So, more than 5,000 people, more than 1,000 per square kilometer density of population, and if 75% of the population is engaged in non-agricultural activities, then it is an urban area. So, this place has basically a place which has more population, and more population density is an urban area. So, from time to time we have been understanding that there have been developments. Now, even if you see, we have turned cities into mega cities. Mega cities are taking into different advancements and moving further. Nobody is coming down, nobody is becoming less, but rather becoming more and becoming better. So, urban residents are also increasing. Process has also influenced or helped in industrialization. Now, we will see the characteristics. They are large in size, that is acceptable fact, they are large in size. Okay, so according to 2011 census, 4,381 people per square kilometer were residing in Bangalore. So, that was large in size. Cultural diversity is one way you can take it like this: through migration, people of lot of different cultures come and settle in one particular place. Now if you go and see one big city, if you take Bangalore for that example, people of different cultures are there in Bangalore. Maybe some are working, maybe some have settled there, maybe some have come for some other purpose of trade and other things, maybe some are doing their business, whatever it is. It's not that all Kannada speaking people are there in Bangalore. You can find people who are speaking Hindi and other languages as well, isn't it? Telugu, Tamil, Malayalam, all these languages people are found there. If they have a different mother tongue, that means they are also from a different cultural background. But they may share a common language. People may be knowing Kannada there. Doesn't mean they have been born into that community. They may have been born into some other community. But as languages, any language you can learn at any time. There is nothing wrong in knowing only your first language and not knowing other language. You can learn language at any time. But the first language or the mother tongue that they use is what is their community, is what is their culture. So, people, let's take it only for work. People have migrated for the purpose of work. When they have migrated for the purpose of work, obviously their cultural background is different, their language is different, the things that they do are different, alright. So, we have to adapt ourselves, or we have to make way for different changes that have to come. We have to be in a way well equipped for people of different cultural backgrounds, people of different cultural aspects being with us, staying with us and dealing with us at different levels. So, non-agricultural jobs, that is, now if you have understood the definition, 75% of the population was engaged in non-agricultural jobs is considered to be a part of the urban area. Now, here non-agricultural job may constitute to commerce and trade, business that is done, okay, different administrative services or different other professions. So, non-importance to primary relationship. Formal relationships are here, all secondary relationship, tertiary relationships happen. Nothing of the sort that one cares for the other. So, they restrict their attention to themselves and their families. They don't go beyond and they don't inquire much about anybody in their families. So, formal social control, they have the police, they have the judiciary, they have other civic facilities for their protection and basic security needs. Alright, we can stop at this, students. Thank you very much for listening.